Everybody. Hello. It is hump day. Yes, indeed. Oh my God. It is hump day. Hello, somebody. Can you believe it's not only hump day on my side, because on your side it could be Friday Eve, right? Because it's buy one, get one free on every time we come up in here. So this is another episode of a Question Live Show. But it is it's almost the last Wednesday in August. Like August is closing the door. So right now we're in Iron's Eye. Like we're peeping into September. And for me, it's like, oh, what happened? Right? For me, it's I'm gonna just be happy, right? I'm just gonna be happy with it. It's not my season. I don't like to be closed up. I like the 100 degrees and I like the hot weather. Yes. So I don't like all the cold stuff. And I see cold coming in this morning. I got up. Let me tell you something what happened to me this morning. I got up this morning and I saw 55 degrees. Yeller. 55 degrees I saw this morning on my weather app. I'm like, that must be from a different country or something. That is not for me. 55 degrees. And I'm like, okay. So when you 55 at 6 a.m., where you going? Huh? Where you going at 7 a.m.? I just want to know because, at 6 a.m., if you want to be 55, that's fine because I'm still in my house. But when I saw traveling, can we move up, about 20 more degrees or something? You know what I'm saying? Or 10 more degrees or something, And I had to wrap up myself with my little shawl this morning. And I had to woo-wee, somebody send me some warm weather. So if you are somewhere right now and you have warm weather, do you need my address? You need a location to send me some? Because I'll send you up my information. You mail me some, express it overnight. Because we're still in August. And I don't know what happened to August. August decided, hey, I don't want to be like this no more. August, I know who troubled August, but August is flipping off her clothes or putting on her clothes or doing something. August is flipping, flopping. August like, listen, I don't want to have this hot nothing. August like, I want to just go free. I want to be just like, I don't want to wear this clothes no more. I don't want to do this no more. I want to be here no more. And August is like, get me out of here. Anybody agree with August? Because nobody called me and told me anything that August was going to do this. Nobody called me and said, all of a sudden, this is going to happen. Nobody called me and said, listen, if you don't know, August got a double-minded right about now. August about to flip some script right about now. Nobody called me. Nobody texted me. Nobody emailed me and told me that August was going to do a flip script on us, okay? In some sense, they're like, what a mess this is. But let me tell you something. We're going to talk about a mess here tonight. We're going to talk about a mess tonight, honey, because I'm just trying to gather my thoughts. I'm just trying to gather my thoughts because right now, I think it's 65 degrees right now. And I'm just trying to gather my thoughts because, I'm like, if anything, I got to go get my tea and also the stuff. And you know what I'm saying? So it's a lot happening for August. So if you are somewhere in August, because we're all in August right about now. If you're somewhere and you are not experiencing this 55 degrees, 65 degrees, but you're experiencing 80 degrees and above, please let a sister know. Because I might want to have to visit you and gather some, put some in my bag and bring it back. I'm an outside girl, okay? Everybody, I like to be on the outside. I like to be with nature. I mean, it's recommended that you be outside whether it's cold or hot. 30 minutes at least you should be outside. Yeah, okay. So with that said, let us roll into this episode. Welcome to another episode of the Question Live Show with your host, the one and only moi, Verona Willis-Brown. Yes, indeed, we come up in here almost every day. Where we come, we empower, we inspire, we educate each other. But the main thing that we come in here to do is to support each other. We show up here with the learning mentality, the teaching mentality, so we can learn and teach at the same time. Why? Because we are students and teachers at the same time. So when we show up in this space, we show up and say, come on in our space with an intention, with expectation, and take action. Because when we take action, we will increase education. Education is not only in the classroom with the chalkboard and the teacher standing there pointing. Education is every waking moment. As soon as our eyes open, our ears pop open, it is education, because education opportunity is when we put ourselves in a position to learn a thing or two. So we want to make sure that we are getting this message that education is not about you packing up yourself. You go into a classroom, you sit down, teacher, professor, somebody is in front of you going like this. Education is not about you sending your child, your children to school and say, go learn ABC. Let me tell you something. Education starts from the belly. We as women, we are life bearers, and we are the first teachers there is. Yeah, we are first teachers there are up in this world. We are the first teachers. We teach our children first at home before we send them off to the regular school with the chalkboard. We have a little chalkboard, we have little gimmicks, we have little tricks, we have little paper, we have little pencil, we have little sticky pads, we have those little magnetic thing that we put in the fridge. We teach them at home. So if you right now, as a parent or guardian, somebody, and you're not teaching your child at home or your children at home, honey, time to shape up, shape up, shape up. That is a whole mess, honey. That's a whole mess. We don't want to do that. We don't want to entertain the mess here. That's not the mess we want to entertain. But we are going to get into the mess of the message. Yes, because some mess go into the message, and so mess take us into that motivation. Some mess cause us to move. So we are going to go into that kind of mess tonight, where we are going to create a message, a positive message, and that's how we're going to get some message out of our mess. Nobody wants to be in a mess. Nobody want to live in a mess. Nobody want to say, oh, you are a mess. Nobody want to be called that. Nobody. But tonight we are going to go up in there and we are going to see how we can get the message out of the mess and see what the result. Because every time we show up here, we want to gravitate and we want to grab the end result and bring it forward. We want to see the result. We want to change our perception of life so we can see that we can raise our level of consciousness and look through different lens on different things. Our perception of life, it does make a difference, because when we so focused and seeing one set, one road, one direction, we are not earning the education that we need. We are not growing in that manner. So as we come on in here, let's remember that we are here to teach, to grow, and to share. So if you are here for the first time, I want to welcome you. I want to welcome you. So listen, if you're here for the first time, put your name in the comment section. Let me know that it is your first time, or just wave to me. Why? When you do that, I see you. I acknowledge your presence, because oftentimes we go through life and we don't get acknowledged. We get accepted, but we don't get acknowledged. And when you come in here, I want to let you know that I see you. So put your name in the comment section, wave to me, type in first time, and let me know that it is your first time. Many of you might not have heard of the Are You Free Enough platform. You might not have heard of the Question Live show, or you just might not have heard of Verona Willis-Brown. But if tonight is your night that you are scrolling somewhere and you saw live and you click it and you got here, I welcome you. You are very much welcome. So if this is your first time, let me introduce myself to you, because I like to introduce myself to the first timers. First timers, let me tell you something again. My name is Verona Willis-Brown. It is right there on the bottom of the slot. I am your host. Yes, indeed. I am a native of the most beautiful place in the world. Listen, that beautiful place is the whole vibe by itself, and that is the most beautiful island. It is Jamaica. Yes, I tell you something a little bit about me. Growing up, I grew up on the farm. My parents were great farmers. My parents were entrepreneurs. My parents did a whole bunch of stuff, especially my mama. She did a lot. Okay, she was an entrepreneur that she didn't even know how to spell that word. It took me a while to pronounce the word, and I knew. My mama ain't knew that word. I didn't know that word. But she was an entrepreneur because now that I got to this point where now I can come as your host, I can say that my mama was an entrepreneur because I watched her as I grew up. I watched her when I came into the family. Because let me tell you something about as I came into the family. I came into a family huge. Huge. Huge family, more than 5, 10. Yeah, I came into a huge family. So by the time I got into that family, she was already an entrepreneur. She was already doing the thing or two up in there. So when I got in there and grew up in there and just saturated myself up in the family, honey, let me tell you something. I learned a thing or two at this point that I can apply that which I learned, that which she taught me right here when I come and be your host. As I carry my parents' legacy on my shoulder, in my heart, I build my own. Why? Because of the lesson that they taught me and the lesson that I learned from being on the farm. If you're here, you know that most of the time what will happen, I like to use the concept of farmer. I like to use the concept of they planting a seed or a grain and watch it grow. I like to apply it here on the topic or on the content in this show. Why? Because every single thing that we do in life is planting something. Whether we do negative or positive, it is planting something. We are dropping a seed or a grain and we are waiting for it to grow. So if we are thinking negative, we are planting a negative seed. If we are thinking positive, we are planting a positive seed. If we are doing something negatively, it is a negative seed that was planted. So let us remember what we plant will grow. So if we plant positive, let us not wait for negative. If we plant negative, let us not wait for positive. Because everything that we put down is going to come back up. So I oftentimes says, when I watch my parents plant a grain or a seed, what is happening? They don't sit there, put a hand on their chin, and like, hey, we're just gonna watch you grow. No, they plant something else. They cultivate something else. They go on fertile ground, and that is what we gotta get. That we, when we plant something, it is on fertile ground. It is going to grow. I watched them. I watched my mama plant. She was a floor. Let me tell you about my mama. She was a florist. She was a dressmaker. She was just everything. So I tell you this, I tell you this about my mama, and I'm telling those who are tuning in for the first time because those who've been here, they already heard the story. Let me tell you something. My mama was such an entrepreneur that she was just doing so many business, so many things that at this point I can brag that I achieved a lot of things behind my belt. Yes, indeed, I can go down the alphabet and say this, that. Yes, I could brag about it because I'm bragging about the blessing that now I got into the position to come as your host, to be a published author, to be an international inspirational speaker, to be a youth mentor, podcaster, blogger, actress, beauty contestant, a lot of things. But that's beside the point. And that's just a little bit because I am saying this to say that do not limit yourself. Do not let somebody label you as in a mess or you are a mess. Because out of your mess, you can come out and create something. No. They could never label me as a mess. But sometimes I'm like, ooh, I'm a mess, right? Because sometimes we judge ourselves in such a state that sometimes I've been doing some stuff and I'm like, ooh, good Lord, I'm a mess. Right. I'm like, girl, or somebody like, girl, you're a mess. No, honey, because you see, I'm going to brush that mess off and I'm going to achieve a thing or two. Because I'm going to follow my mama footsteps and I'm going to like, hey, I achieved that. I did that. I did that. I am an entrepreneur indeed. Woo! Yep, indeed. I didn't say that. Business owner? Yes, indeed, I am. But let me tell you something. So those are for those who are tuning in for the first time. For those of you who are tuning in for the second, third, fourth, fifth, anytime after the first time, let me tell you something. I like when you show up. So welcome to the newbies. Newbies, you are a part of the family now, so we welcome you. We like to give you huggies. And when you come on in here, you get nice hugs. You get all the love, because now you are a new family member. For those of you who are tuning in for the second, third, fourth, fifth time, any amount of time, after the first, you are a returning audience. And if you are a returning audience, I like to welcome you as well because when you show up, I show up, we show up together. And what happened? We ignite our gifts and our talents, and we create a whole galaxy of greatness. Why would I say create a galaxy of greatness? Because greatness lies inside of us, inside of our DNA. It is attached to our DNA because that is what God created. God only created great and beautiful things, and it is inside of us that we are operating from our inside out. So when we come on up in here and we ignite our greatness on it, we are going to make great impact because we are not here to impress anybody. No, absolutely not. We are not here to impress anybody. We are here to impact a life or two. So when we come on in here, we are coming here to cross path and create our success story. Now, as I mentioned success story, let me tell you, we are all on a journey. That journey is called life. Yep, it is a path. We are all on this journey. And each one of us have a path or two or three to cross. So when your path meets my path and we cross, what is going to happen? We are going to add up to our success story. Everybody on this earth, once you are born, like if you're born, you come in with a success story too. Everybody wants to have a success story. So as you get to the point of awareness to say, what is success? You define that for yourself because everybody defines success by themselves. However you decide to define success, that is up to you. But I want to remind you, or I want to inform you that nobody, I mean, absolutely nobody can achieve success by themselves. Absolutely not. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter where you are, whatever position you are in, whether you are the prime minister, the vice president, the mayor, the governor, the teacher, the doctor, the lawyer, the student. You cannot get there by yourself. If you consider yourself as a celebrity at this point, you did not get that status by yourself because everybody's striving to get to a status. And when everybody's striving to get to a status and you get to that status that you dreamt of, simply means you did not get there by yourself. You didn't wake up and like, boom, I'm there. No, there was no magic wand that said, boom, you are now a celebrity. Somebody pushed you in that position. So I call on you who already got into a position of great achievement to come back and collaborate with somebody, come back and support somebody so their dreams can rise up and be achieved just the same way. Life is about supporting each other. Oftentimes, when we hear the word support, what is happening? We are considering, we are thinking, we are coming to the conclusion that we are talking about money. No, life is not always about you supporting me with money. It's about you showing up. It's about you saying, how can we work together? It's about you saying, I see you. It's about you giving a compliment. It's about you saying shoulder to shoulder, hips to hip, belly to belly. We are on this journey together. It is about you just saying, hey. So that's what support is. Support is not about you sitting there saying, give me $1 or two. No, support simply means that I am next to you. I want to learn from you. I want to teach you. So if you are in the position to teach somebody, go back and teach somebody. We hear this. Give back, give back, give back. But give back don't mean you go back to your community and give back at all times. Give back simply means find somebody who has the same passion as you and drop something in them. Drop a little sprinkle. Go back and find somebody. Listen to me. If you are going for a position like the vice president at this moment, going for the presidency. Listen, go and find a person. Find a child. Right now, we're in the back to school season. Go into a community and see what these children need. There are students out there, there are parents out there that's crying right now, black tears coming down because they don't know how they're going to send their children to school. No, there are parents right now that are hungry because that's what they don't have food to eat. There are children right now that live in the muck of India, Africa, Jamaica, around the world, America, okay? That's in muck, that they don't know how they're going to rise. They have no hope. So I call on you that if you're in position to go and find at least one, go and and give back to at least one. Go and help at least one. Let me tell you something. If you are going for the presidency, Madam Vice President, find someone in India. Find someone, find a family, find a community in India, and see where you can deposit in that community and see, oh, you can give back to that community. Okay, if you don't want to do that, go to your father's native island. That is Jamaica. I told you that's the most beautiful place in the world. Find a community and see where you can help a family in the community. Hello, excuse me, don't you know at this point they had an hurricane in Jamaica probably about a month and a half ago, and people are still suffering from the hurricane. Go back to that community and see how you can help those people. See how you can help. Give back to that community. And I tell you, it is so sad. It's sad in my heart when I see, my beautiful island. How is it that a hurricane happened like almost 2 months now and people are still suffering from the impact there? The mess, okay? The mess of this all. But we have hope. We have a perception. We have expectation that hope is not dead. Hope is where we are giving life to somebody. So we want to go into how and what and who and when. When we talk about mess, how can we fix this mess? So I call on you, if you can give that ounce of hope to saturate that mess, so that mess, somebody can rise up and create a message, I call on you to do that. I'm calling you to do that. It's not about in the next couple of months you are going in a higher position. No, it's about now. Let us consider now how we are operating now. What are we contributing now? So many people in a literal mess right now. How can they get out? By somebody supporting them. Somebody's mind is messed up. How can we go and support them? By standing with them. Somebody is sitting there like, oh my God, right? How can we do this? So I call on you. Let us work together. Let us build this relationship and find way. It is obvious around the world because we don't even have to put like a magnifying glass anywhere. We just have to make sure that we very much alert and aware and conscious of what it is to give back, of what it is to love, of what it is to show kindness and compassion to another human being. It is just to say what it is to be human. It is not about the amount of achievement that we get. It is to be human. So let us find this mutual space of commitment, dedication, love, and kindness, compassion, peace. Okay? So we can have a balance. We can have a balance. The world is tilted. Let us have a balance. Find a spot. Right? Too many people in a mess, and because too many people in a mess, what is happening? They just stop. We want to unstuck some people. So let us work together so we can unstuck some people. If it's one, if it's two, if it's a community, if it's a village, there are villages right now. For those of you who've been here, y'all know I love to travel because when I travel, I learn, and I educate myself. So when I travel, whether virtually or in person, honey, if you want to travel, let's talk traveling, okay? Because I travel, I do this traveling stuff. So yeah, if you want to travel, let's talk about that as well. Listen to me. I travel around the world virtually and in person, and I see these things. So there are people, there are community, there's just a corner of people that living on the bridge in cardboard boxes. My goodness, come on, somebody, let us work together. So anyway, I just want to get that out there. So let me tell you something. I mentioned that I'm from a huge family, but one thing I want to let you know that on this show, where we support each other, because the more we support each other, is the more we grow. Because when we are into the mess, we don't grow. When we don't have support, we don't grow. Okay, but when we collaborate, when we support each other, we will grow and we will grow stronger. So let me tell you, I mentioned that I am from a huge family, but one thing I want to let you know that on this show, we like to use F word. Whether I apply it or say it, I like to use F word up in here. Well, actually, I like to use three. whatever F word you use, that's up to you, but I use 3 in here. 3 of them: faith, fun, and family. Yes, I do. I use 3 F words up in here because it's my faith that allow me to come up in here. It's my faith allow me to support you. It's my faith that allow me to achieve that which I achieved. It was my faith that got me to 335 episodes. Come on, somebody. Hello. So let me tell you something. When God said start this platform, I was like, no, wait, no, me, no, absolutely not. But then I had to fight with God, and God's like, girl, you putting yourself in a mess. But I'm going to turn that mess around, and I'm going to give you a message. So the message out of my mess, of me fighting with God to say, oh, no, I'm not doing that. I don't want to go live. I got a message, and my message is coming to you to let you know that we need each other. And because I started this out on a shaky faith, shaky faith, I was like, ooh. I was unbalanced with my faith, honey. But let me tell you something. I step it up. I'm like, no. And I showed up. And that is how we got to 335 episode, season 11 of the Question Live Show. So let me tell you something, great people of this YouTube live and social media land. You come on up in here, whether you subscribe to the channel, whether you like an episode, whether you're tuning on the live, whether you share, it doesn't matter. The fact of the matter is that we are family, and it's my faith that got me right here. Talking about family, let me tell you again, I'm from a Jewish family, so I got the permission to talk about my family at every point. Yes, indeed, I have the permission to talk about my family. Why do I have the permission to talk about my family? Because I can. Yeah, You see, let me tell you something. We like to come on up in here. When I talk about my family, I told you, come on up in here, come on a little bit closer. We talked about my family because that put me to the part where I talk about fun because we like to celebrate. My family huge. We celebrate. We do a lot of things. We have babies. We go to school. We get the degrees. You know what I'm saying? We do a lot of achievement, but we have a lot of birthdays as well. And birthdays come from January 1st, literally come all the way down to December. So that put me to the next F word. The next F word is fun. We like to have fun up in here. So when I say fun, we're talking about come on up in here so we can have fun and cheer you on. When we come and have fun, it is simple mean that if you having a birthday, you having an anniversary, you got proposed, you with a boo, you move somewhere, you relocate, you develop yourself, your children's birthday, your boo's birthday, your neighbor's birthday, neighbor's anniversary, friend anniversary, whatever the case is, you're going to having a baby, you had a baby, you got married. Whatever it is, we like to celebrate small wins and big wins. So whatever it is, I come with my cheerleading squad and we cheer you on. When we celebrate, it is a form of support. Yes, indeed, because the more we cheer somebody on, is the more we boost them up to go and achieve some more. We want to achieve some more because when God created us, He created us in a space to prosper and be in good health. Therefore, whatever, maybe you got a doctor's report that you're doing healthy, you make a healthy decision. We want to celebrate you. So as you can see, I have my cheerleading squad. We come on up in here. I actually put in the comment section, what is it that you would like for us to celebrate with you? And we celebrate up in here. We like to party up in here. So what are your, maybe your country celebrating something? Maybe your country won something. The Olympics just finished. Did your country want any medal? Hey, come on up in here. We like to celebrate you too. Your culture, you're having something going on. We like to celebrate you. You know what I'm saying? So whatever the case is, we like it. We're here for it, right? So with that said, I want to say to you, welcome. So tonight we are going to talk about how to use the mess. How to use the mess to turn into that message, right? Let me tell you something. Nobody wants to live in a mess. I don't want to be in a mess. If your house is a mess, my goodness, it is a form of your mentality. If you look around like, oh my God, like right now, I need to rearrange some stuff. I'm like, oh, that look messy. But sometimes mess is a good thing because as a co-creator of God, I am a creative. So my creative space sometimes look like ding, 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 things there. But if you come in my space, like, ooh, you look a little. No, it's not that I am messy. That is a good messy, right? That is a good mess. That is my good mess because I'm like, yep. But if you move it, then I'm gonna like, right? So a lot of creative, we have this thing where we're just like, this is it, this is it, this is it, this is it. Because we focus on so many things that our mind go at a speed that we got to see this, we see that, we see this, we see that, we see that, we see this, right? So when we do that, what is going to happen? We creating a wonderful thing out of that mess. What you consider a mess might just be the mess that I am creating, right? So right now I'm like, oh, I need to move that. But it's not that we're moving up the mess to such a state. We are just rearranging some stuff to accommodate something. So because we want a great result, we want a great message. So yes, indeed. So all that waste, mess, all that mess is what we call waste matter, right? Waste matter. We hear about waste matter. We hear the term. If we are adults, young adults, teenager, we hear it. Waste matter. What is waste matter? Most of the time when we talk about waste matter, we're talking about something that's going in the garbage, something that we're getting destroyed. We don't want that. That's waste matter. Waste matter getting flushed. We don't want waste matter. But waste matter is serious. Waste matter in this term, we are saying let's take what we call waste matter and turn it around and use it. I told you I came from a farm. I'm going to tell you about waste matter because what happened in the farm life, waste matter from the animal becomes what? Fertilizer. Yes, it becomes fertilizer. And because it becomes fertilizer, so you see, waste and that mess, all that mess, it becomes something good. So when we talk about waste matter, when we're saying waste matter, we're talking about that waste that we put away. No, waste matter goes to bring something, it's going to add something else. So when we use that fertilizer, it is going to fertilize the plant, it fertilize the ground. And what happened? There goes your beautiful product. There goes your beautiful end result. So yes, I grew up on the farm, so I know all that organic fertilizer, and that's from the animal dung. So when we talk about waste matter, let us not consider it as a negative thing that we are wasting everything. Because let's talk about waste. When we talk about waste, we hear like, you're wasting time. Don't you hear that before? Mm-hmm. If you're sitting here, I know somebody, your parents said that, you're wasting time. You're going to school, you're wasting time. I'm not going to send you to school, you're wasting time. But guess what happened? When we use those waste time, we want to use them because hear this. One man's garbage is another man's treasure. You heard that before? So when we talk about waste time, what is it that we are using with the time that we have, right? We have time right here. What is happening with the time? What is happening with your time? What is happening with your time? What is happening with your time? Are we activating some form of sensor to use on the time? Are we taking that time and we using it to utilize our gifts and our talent? Are we utilizing that time to activate our dreams and our vision? I ask you, what is your waste of time? You see, oftentimes those waste of time are the mess that we are in. Mm-hmm. All those wasted time. Oh, I wasted all my time in the relationship. Oh, I wasted all my time with these children. I wasted all my time going to school. I wasted all my time. Those wasted time, they equal out to something. Don't you believe so? They do. We never see the end result and things when we are saying wasted time. You're in a relationship for a while and you're like, oh, I just wasted all my time with a relationship. I wasted all my time with a man, that woman. I wasted all my time. Listen, those wasted time, if you only know. Because you see, I sat there and I'm like, I wasted all my time. Did I waste my time with this relationship? You know what I'm saying? But I'll tell you what, don't you sit there and take that wasted time and just sit in that muck of that waste time. That wasted time could be your message out of the mess, right? Because you're like, oh, I wasted all my time. So you see all the mess. Oh, I created a mess. You created a mess. We created a mess. All that you add came to create a mess. And I have this messed up life, right? So when we say like, oh, I have a messed up life because of you, and then we start pointing fingers saying, because of somebody, we got a messed up life. How in that messed up life, if we start brushing off, start wiping off Don't put no band-aid on old cut. If you got a new cut, then you put a band-aid. If you got an old bruise, don't put no band-aid on that. But you start brushing off. Start brushing off all the hurt, the pain, the abuse, the abandonment, those neglect, honey, those betrayal. Start brushing them off. Brush them off. When you brush them off, brush off all that mess. It's like when you're in your house and you're like, oh, my house is a mess. Start scrubbing that floor. Start scrubbing that wall. Start scrubbing that table. Start scrubbing that chair. Start scrubbing your oven. Start scrubbing your stove. Scrubbing off your sink, your bathroom, your toilet. Start scrubbing. When we see a mess in our house, we are going to do some deep cleaning. And tonight we are going to do that deep cleaning because we are going to say we are no longer entertaining that mess. We are no longer going to call ourselves, oh, I'm in a messed up relationship. We are no longer going to use that term in the most negative way. But we are going to apply that mess and create a message. We are going to elevate ourselves out of that mess, brush, clean, scour, and create that message. Let me tell you again a little bit about me growing up on the farm. If you are from Jamaica, if you are from the island, if you are from somewhere in the Caribbean, honey, if you're somewhere in some form of Caribbeanish way, growing up, let me tell you something. We had to scrub that floor. And no, we didn't get no fancy mop and all sort of stuff to scrub up no floor. We didn't have no fancy mop. Growing up, we didn't have no fancy mop and fancy Swiffer and all that fancy stuff right about now that we have. Honey, we get a bucket of water, fill that bad boy up, put a piece of cloth up in there and get on our knees and scrub that floor. So if you can relate to scrubbing up that floor, put in the comment section that you did that. We had to scrub up that floor. We had to polish up that floor. We had to shine that floor. Honey, let me tell you something. We sit there like, ooh, the house is a mess. But we had to clean the house to get rid of the mess. And then when you clean the house to get rid of the mess, you're like, ooh, there we go. So that's what we want to do tonight. We want to scrub all that mess so we can get our message. We want to scrub all of that. We want to do the deep cleaning. Honey, if you got to go on your knees, baby, let me tell you something. They said the prayer, you pray, you go on your knees. Sometimes you got to go on your knees until your knee hurts. Until the floor scrape up your knee. But let me tell you something. If you're going on your knee to pray, go ahead. But listen, you don't always got to go on your knee, baby. You don't got to always go on your knee. Just bring it down to a humble level. And then you do all your prayer because your prayer is just a conversation between you and God, right? So let me tell you something. Scrubbing them floors did not, listen, we didn't want to do that. But guess what? My mama was not entertaining that messy house. She had too many children. So it's like, I'm cooking, you cleaning. The yard, somebody sweeping. Hello. Oh, she cooking, somebody going to be helping. Hello. So that mess is going to equal out to something. So let me tell you what that mess is going to equal out. That mess is going to equal out. I told you, one man's garbage is another man's treasure because I tell you, I travel and I see people, garbage, okay? Even locally, I see garbage. And while somebody's going outside the garbage and they're picking it up, cleaning it off, and voila, they take it home. You go outside and you see a chair outside that somebody put out because they don't want, because that's garbage, they're disposing that. Voila, that looks good. I take it home, clean that up. So one man's garbage, you go outside. Let me tell you, I travel and I saw this, a pile of garbage. I mean, what we consider garbage, somebody's literally in that garbage, a family in that garbage, digging out that garbage to see what they could get. So they could sell to get something to feed their family. Pile of garbage. Pile of stinky garbage. And they're in there like, hey, let me see what I could do with this bottle. Let me see what I could do with this can. Let me see what I could find to feed my children. Let me see what I find to eat. So let me tell you something. I see people go in the garbage, the hopeless people on the street here. They go in the garbage. Let me see. Hey, I'm waiting for you to put something in the garbage because I'm going to go right up in there. I'm going to sip from what you put in there. You put a half a bottle of tea, I'm going to sip that. You put a half a bottle of drink, I'm going to sip that too. So let me tell you something. One man's garbage is another man's treasure, because there will be a message out of that mess. Because let me tell you what are the things that will happen when we stay in that mess and do the work in that mess. Something is going to happen. There's going to be a result, because God is going to say, listen, I'm with you. God is saying, I'm not leaving you and I'm not forsaking you. So sometimes we're like, God, God is like, I'm right here. I'm watching you to see how you're going to rise up out of the mess. Because it is up to us if we want to rise up out of the mess. Because God is like, hey, I created you to prosper. And if we have the mentality that we are not rising up, we don't want to rise up, hey, that we just not going to do it. So if I come and lend you my hand, and put my finger like, hey, let's do this, and you're like, no. All right, that's you want to stay in that mess. That's you want to wrap yourself up in that mess like it is a blanket. I am not going to force you out of your mess. But if you have the mentality to rise up out of your mess and develop your solid message, that you take somebody's garbage and become a treasure, then I am ready to work with you. I am ready to collaborate with you. But there's some result that when we rise up out of that mess, when we get support and we are ready to accept the support and we rise up, a few things will happen. The end result will come forward. And what will happen? We will gain some strength. We will gain perseverance. We will gain wisdom. Because now when we gain wisdom out of that mess, rising up with that treasure mentality, rising up where we're not rising up with a poverty mentality, we are going to achieve wisdom. Because now when we achieve wisdom, because now we accept the fact that God was with us in that mess, God got us out of the mess because we wanted to get out of the mess. When we have wisdom, wisdom is not where we're going to school. Wisdom is where we go up to God, where we're like, God, yeah. God is the only one that can give us wisdom. Wisdom cannot be bought. Wisdom is not sold. Wisdom is not bargained. Wisdom is not on sale. Wisdom is only from God. It's just that simple. So when we rise up and we are rising up without wisdom, honey, we're just rising up. Okay? We got to rise up and seek wisdom, because it is God that allows us to rise up. God said, hey, I'm giving you a choice. You want to rise up or you don't want to rise up? If you want to rise up, I'm with you. I'm working with you. I'm supporting you. You see what I'm telling you? So we don't get nowhere by ourselves. God is like, I'm here to support you. You ready? So let's do this, right? So what happened? We will gain wisdom when we rise up. Because we already changed our perception of life. We already changed the fact that we no longer want to be in this mess, and we are about to rise up and we gain wisdom. What is going to happen? We also will gain experience that when that situation residue is blowing, we already know that if it's blowing, honey, it's just going to be blowing past us. We are not entertaining that anymore, because when we got the experience, when we have that experience, what will happen? We know how to apply the lesson. When we know how to apply the lesson, is because the experience is stamped as a badge unto us. I'm like, hey, I'm experiencing that. You can't play with me no more. I'm not going back there. The only time I will see the residue and say, hey, I see that there's a little dust right here, I'm going to dust that off, is because you are helping somebody else to rise up. So when we get our experience, let us remember that once we get that experience, we must wear that experience as a badge, as a medal, to say that, hey, we got a medal of wisdom. We got a medal of experience. Do not leave out your experience. You are gaining that experience in that mess. Wear it as a badge of honor. Wear it as a badge to say, hey, I rise up. Or Dr. late Maya Angelou said, still arise. Get that badge of your experience and put it right here. Get that badge of experience and put it around your neck, honey, and say, hey, I gain experience. Yeah? Next thing, what we gain when we have that experience, we gain trust and we develop faith. When we have faith and trust, Right there, we lock in. No, I have faith in you. If I have faith in you, simply means I trust you. If I trust you, that means I have faith in you. They work hand in hand. And if they work hand in hand, what is going to happen? We are going to wear that as well, because now we rose from the mess and we are creating our message. Those wasted time, those waste matter, they now form a level of trust and faith within us, that because they form a level of trust and faith in us, we are now moving with some badge and say, I earned the badge of honor where I trust God. I did not give up. So yes, indeed. Let me tell you something. God loved those messed up times. God loved those waste time. Because when we're in those mess, we don't want it. But God, like, yes, I want you to be in those mess, because nobody's life is no smooth sailing. It don't matter who you are. If you got a smooth sailing life from the day you were born until now, please call me. Please call me. Because you see what God does? God watch the mess. God permits the mess. God permits the wasted time. God permits that because everything is controlled by God. And God watch and say, you're in a mess of time? You messed up? Oh, God don't say, okay, let me leave you right there. No. God like, ooh, child, I got you. Are you ready to clean up? Are you ready to clean up? So God is still waiting for somebody out there. God is still waiting for somebody who say, I messed up so bad. I'm in a mess. I'm a mess. God is waiting for you to say, come on, call me, knock on my door. Let me help you clean up and what? Rise up. Hold up your head, hold up your shoulder, push out your chest and say, hey, I'm about to rise. I'm about to take on a message. I'm about to bring birth a message. I'm about to show you that I pull up. I did not, and I brush off, and I didn't go buy a pack of band-aid to put on all those old scars. No, those old scars, they are marked. They are mark of honor. All those scars that you have, they are mark of honor of survivor. They are mark of honor of conqueror. They are mark of honor of warrior. They are mark of honor to say that, hey, I got a message. And that message is inside my belly. And that message is about to give birth to let you know that all the mess that I went through, all the mess that somebody said that I was, all the mess that when I born and said that I'm a mess, all the mess that they stamped me as, all the mess that they said that I will be, all the relation that said I was messed up, everything that said I messed up. I tell you, there is a message inside of my belly, and I'm going to birth it out to let you know that I am no longer considered a mess as a negative thing, but I consider my mess as the most positive thing there is, that I'm going to rise, create, and build, and support somebody else who in a mess. I am going to birth my message of prosperity, my message of love, my message of peace, my message of healing, my message of boldness, my message of strength, my message of beauty, my message of courage. I'm going to birth that message. And when I birth that message, honey, I am going to stretch my hand back and I'm going to pull somebody and say, here is my hand. Come, let me support you. Because when we support each other, it is saying that we came through some messed up time, that we survived some messed up time. And honey, we don't want to keep on wallow in that mess. We don't want to be like the pig. Let me tell you, I told you I grew up on the farm. I used to see, we had pigs. And I used to watch those pigs in the mud. In the mud. And when they rise up, they're not sitting there saying, hey, look at me. No, when they water themselves in the mud and they go and they take themselves, swish, swash, swish, swash in that mud. But let me tell you something. After those pigs washed off, they look as clean and tasty. For those of you out there who eat the pork, honey, I'm not eating pork. I'm not. Yeah, you see me now. If y'all know my lifestyle, I don't really do all of that now. But I grew up eating a pork. But what that pig didn't know that when you wallow up in that mess, whoop, 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 wallow, and you looking all dirty and messy, what they don't know that one day gonna come and they're gonna be washed off and they're gonna look nice again. But another day gonna come where they're gonna be somebody's meal. Honey, that mess is your message. They don't know that. They just did not know their faith. But let me tell you something. When you look at it this way, uh-huh, the end result is going to be better than the mess that you think that you're in. The mess that they say that you are, your end result is calling. Mm-hmm. Are you ready? Are you ready to come in? Are you ready to hold my hands? Are you ready to hold even my fingers? Like, I don't want to be in this mess no more. I am tired of this mess. I am tired of somebody calling me mess. I am tired of calling myself mess. Are you ready? Are you that one that's sitting there saying, I am so Are you that one that's sitting there saying, I've been in some messed up situation? But if you are that one that said that you've been in some messed up situation, all of those are not considered messed up where you cannot get out. Let me tell you something. Those are what we are going to use. We're going to use those time, how to use those mess and become your message. Those are the time that you're going to use. You're going to sit there and say, let me tell you something. I'm using them. I'm using them to stand strong. I'm using those mess. Yes, those mess that somebody label you as. Say to yourself, I am using those mess and I'm rising up. I am rising up to be the best version of myself because what the message is to merge into the best version of yourself who is waiting for you. Waiting over there for you. So how to use the mess? To use the mess is to get up and to stand up and to show up and be intentional on how you want to see the best version of yourself. Are you that one? Are you that one that sit there and say, I'm such a mess? Do not entertain that such a mess in such a way that you forget that you were created with greatness inside of you. Do not despair that. Do not use that mess term to say, I'm just a mess, that you just wallow in the mud like that pig. That you just wallow enough in that mud to say, ooh, your mouth, everything wallow in the mud, and the mud become a part of you. Do not let that mud plaster and cover your greatness because your greatness lies inside of you. So I ask you this, how to use your mess? By applying the very thing that were created inside of your DNA, and that is applying love to yourself so you can apply love to others. Listen to me. I ask you, come on in here if you are ready to take on it's not a challenge, it's to take on the task of wiping off that mess and create your own message. Again, I want to thank you for tuning in to the Question Live Show. I am your host, Verona Willis-Brown, saying how to use a mess, use it as your message. Rise up because we will rise up together. Don't forget to share this message with somebody else because when we do that, what will happen? We will grow together, build together, and support each other. Now listen up. I am your host, Verona Willis-Brown, saying, go out there, find your message, build on your message, build on such a mess, and know that we are in this together. See you on the next go around. You know, it's the summer. Summer is still going on, so you just never know how the show gonna go. We might be outside. We might be at the live show. I try to bring in some live event to you and present some entertainment to you for the summer. Winter, get cold. I don't like to be outside. But anywho, thank you so much for tuning in to this Question Live Show.